Jet Blue Park, the Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs will meet in Fort Myers. Feels a lot more like a regular season matchup than any other game here in Florida. Rick Porcello against Yu Darvish just 3 days before opening day. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Florida. Great to have you with us. I'm Dave O'Brien alongside Red Sox Hall of Famer Jerry Remy. Tom Caron along in just a couple of moments. And Remdog, it does have a different feel with the Cubs in town. All their fans, 2 A-list lineups, frontline pitchers, and Mookie Betts leading things off. He's been cooking.
Yeah, this is going to be fun tonight for a spring training game. It really is. But, you know, you talk about Mookie Betts, and he's exactly where he wants to be. Remember early in the spring, he couldn't buy a hit. He was swinging the bat decently, but, you know, not getting the base hits, and finally got a little dribble down the third base line, and that got him going. He hasn't stopped hitting since then. Matter of fact, in the ball game yesterday, 2 home runs for Betts, and he really could slug them. And, you know, he's in a spot right now where he's very comfortable heading into opening day, and that's what every player hopes for. You know, where you can be swinging the bat well the last week of spring training heading into opening day, and then you hope that it follows through after that. But Betts is there. He'll probably play in the game tonight. Probably won't play in the ball game tomorrow. They don't want to take a chance on getting him hurt before the first game of the season.
So Mookie leads off tonight. J.D. Martinez, a little unusual. It won't be the case during the regular season, but he's batting in a 2 spot as Alex Cora wants to get him some additional at bats. Still looking for that first home run. So Tom Caron will be along in just a couple of moments. That roster taking shape. There are 1 or 2 surprises there. And it's the Cubs in town for the first of 2 here in Fort Myers. First pitch is right around the corner. Blue, where it's about 80 degrees. Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs. Pretty festive feel here at the ballpark. When you talk festive, you always want Tom Caron around. TC, good evening to you, and what are you working on tonight?
Oh, we'll have festivities all night long, Dave. There's no doubt about that. You know, 24 hours from now, preseason will be over, and the Red Sox will be in St. Petersburg. They'll be having a team dinner with 1 player footing the bill for the entire dinner. We'll tell you who that is in just a little bit. But more importantly, we'll tell you about the final roster moves made today and the 2 somewhat surprising names that have made the roster and will be in uniform if everyone's healthy on opening day. And the good news, Alex Cora got to pass on to those guys. All of that, OB, coming up.
Can't wait, TC. Thank you very much. Let's give you a look at the starting lineup now for the Cubs. Season of high expectations for them. Ian Happ is the center fielder. He'll be their everyday guy there, followed by Chris Bryant at third, Anthony Rizzo at first base. Addison Russell, their fine shortstop. Kyle Schwarber in left field. Victor Caratini, a high prospect. He's doing the catching. Jason Hayward in right field with Javier Baez at second base. And Tommy La Stella, the DH. Hitting ninth against right-hander Rick Porcello. He is 1-1 for the spring.
And the defense tonight for the Red Sox. Rafael Devers will be at third base. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop. Brock Holt at second, and Mitch Moreland, the first baseman. Left to right, J.D. Martinez, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts. And Sandy Leon doing the catching for Porcello.
Immediately, the Red Sox with an overshift on Happ will look to bunt and come up empty. You've mentioned this, Jerry. We're going to see a lot more bunting this year, don't you think?
I agree. You know, we've seen it in the last couple of games that we've done where guys are just trying to drop the ball against the shift.
Happ, a terrific athlete, still very raw, but they love him, and he'll knock it the other way for a base hit. So Ian Happ with a quick single to get started for Chicago tonight.
Yeah, taking the ball to the opposite field. Of course, they gave him the left side of the infield on the ground, but he puts that ball in the air and drops it in for a base hit. A little bit out on his front foot there, but he keeps the hands back and just serves it in the left field for the leadoff single.
Sends up Chris Bryant, the outstanding third baseman. Hitting .333 this spring with 1 home run. Cubs 92 wins last year. They've had 3 consecutive seasons going to the NLCS or the World Series. Joe Madden back as the manager. He has a completely new coaching staff. Jake Arrieta is gone. John Lackey is gone. So a bit of a different look out of their rotation. Now they have Yu Darvish, who pitches tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very strong ball club again, the Chicago Cubs.
John Lester remains a big part of an excellent staff. And Chili Davis, the new hitting coach. One of the many new faces for Chicago. And Brian Butterfield at third base. Third base coach. Butter back in uniform. And I'll bet by the end of the season just as beloved as he was in Boston.
Both those guys didn't take very long to find a job. They got it very quickly with the Cubs.
One to Bryant.
Good sinking fastball that time by Porcello. That ball running down and in on Bryant. A lot of movement on it from Rick.
The Cubs are one of the series favorites to represent the National League in the World Series. They have become accustomed to winning. Runner goes. Here's the throw down, the tag, and he is safe. So Happ gets in there with a stolen base.
Well, you could tell he wanted to run right from the first pitch. I mean, he was dancing around over at first base trying to get himself a good lead. This pitch is going to be inside. It's a good pitch to throw, but the throw's a little bit to the second base side, and Happ picks up the stolen base. It's a lineup that can do an awful lot of things. You see the tail on the throw right there, and by the time Holt swings it back around, safe at second base is Happ.
2-2 to the shortstop. Bogaerts. Xander will hoover that up and retire Bryant. Happ holding at second. 1 away. Sends up the first baseman Anthony Rizzo. The Cubs get plenty of thump from Rizzo at 32 home runs last year. Bryant hit 29. Schwarber hit 30. Very strong defensive club. They do not have a lot of weaknesses.
I think one of the things offensively that they're trying to do this year is cut down on their strikeouts. They did strike out a lot a year ago.
Rizzo this spring .341 with 3 homers.
First curveball that Porcello tries that time and left it up and out of the zone. Not much snap on that one.
Happ at second with 1 away, and that's right through there for a strike. Red Sox beat the Twins yesterday 6-1. As Jerry mentioned, Mookie Betts with a couple home runs Andrew Benintendi hit an absolute bomb.
Oh man, it was the back seat to the bleachers.
Popped him up. And Devers behind third, now to foul ground. 2 down.
Wind's going to be a little bit of a factor tonight here at JetBlue Park as it blows in toward the hitters. It's kind of switched around today. It was blowing out earlier in the day, and then now it's turned around and blowing straight in.
So when you got here at 9:30 this morning, it was blowing a different direction.
Actually, way off, Dave. I didn't get here till 10:30 today.
10:30, you
Yes.
slept in.
Well, I had to pack for tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Had to get ahead. Addison Russell, 359 with 2 home runs so far in the Cactus League. Remember, the Cubs train in Arizona, and they have opening day in Miami this year. So Sam Kennedy, the Red Sox president, was the one who took a look at the schedule at the end of spring, and then he called his counterpart with the Cubs and said, why don't we get these 2 clubs together for a couple of games, Monday and Tuesday, right at the end of spring training. That's how that deal was struck. He goes the other way, picked off by Moreland. The underhand flip. Porcello there to retire the side, and that'll do it. Porcello pitching around the leadoff single.
Spring is coming. Be ready for the new season with
Just a few days away from one that actually counts in the standings. Red Sox taking on the Cubs tonight. Give you a look at the Red Sox starting lineup with Mookie Betts leading it off in right field. JD Martinez in left. He's batting out of the 2 spot with Hanley Ramirez the DH. Mitch Moreland at first with Xander Bogaerts at short. Jackie Bradley in center. Rafael Devers at third. Brock Holt the second baseman. Sandy Leon will do the catching. Facing right-hander Yu Darvish. He is a new face for Chicago in 2018. He went 10-12 last year with a 3.86 ERA.
Yu Darvish, a very late signing here with the Chicago Cubs. Last year, Texas, the Dodgers. A little different look to their starting rotation.
You got Quintana in there. They got him last year. Remember the Chicago White Sox outstanding pitcher. Baez will gobble this one up and set down Mookie Betts on 1 pitch, 1 away.
Let's look at the Cubs defense. Chris Bryant will be at third base. Addison Russell, the shortstop. Javier Baez at second, and Anthony Rizzo, the first baseman. Kyle Schwarber in left field. Ian Happ in center field, and Jason Hayward, the right fielder. Victor Caratini doing the catching for the Cubs.
JD Martinez, 310, no homers yet, 7 runs batted in this spring. Red Sox facing what some call their twin brother. These 2 ancient franchises with legendary ballparks and tragic histories for so long with recent World Series titles. 1-1.
In case you're wondering why J.D. Martinez is hitting out of the 2 spot, he's done it for the last couple of days. We look at Joe Madden, the manager of the Chicago Cubs. But J.D. moved up to the 2 spot just because he wants to get more at bats in the game. So it may add an additional at bat for him by hitting out of the 2 slot. This is not going to happen during the season.
Given his late signing. And a good day yesterday in that spot. Went 3 for 5 with an RBI. Let's talk with Tim Hires about him, Red Sox new hitting coach. And he talked about the preparation that Martinez goes through, and he's really locked in as a student of the game. And he'll talk about hitting a lot and about what he's expecting from a particular pitcher or staff. He'll talk about it in the clubhouse a great deal.
Yeah, you know what I find interesting too is that during batting practice he has Billy Broadbent come out and tape every one of his swings that he takes in batting practice. I've never seen that before, you know, and he goes back and he studies that to see exactly what he's doing, you know, in preparation for the real game. As most teams do, they shade him to the opposite field in the outfield. He's got a big gap in left center field and certainly down that line, the left field line. There's Tim Hires, the Red Sox hitting coach.
Tim was very proud of that bunt for a hit that Mitch Moreland laid down the other day. Check swing, got a piece and fouled it away. And I asked Mitch about that, and he said, you know, it's not something I'm going to be doing a ton of, but I don't want to do too much of that in spring training. I don't want that going into a book. Yeah, because you know scouts are watching. You know they're putting everything in there. But just to keep people honest, once in a while, drop that down when you can. He said he got a cookie to bunt. He recognized it, dropped it down, got himself a base hit against that shift. High chop. Bryant will pick it. 2 down. Hanley coming up next. Let's toss it to Tom Caron.
Yeah, thanks, OB. Sox making some moves to trim the roster today. Players obviously been placed on the DL, and today Brandon Workman was optioned to AAA. Pawtucket and Justin Haley reassigned to minor league camp. That means Bobby Pointer, the lefty, has made the team, and it also means 29-year-old Marcus Waldman has made the team. What a story. 29 years old. He's never been in the big leagues, pitched in independent league ball. And Alex Cora said after a few days of having to tell guys they hadn't made the team, one of the highlights of his camp was being able to tell Marcus Waldman, you're a major leaguer. He said the reaction made it all worthwhile.
Got to be a great thrill, I would imagine, for a young manager, any manager, to be able to do that. To look a guy in the face and say, your dreams have come true, young man.
You know, what a range of emotions it is for a manager to have to be calling guys in to tell them they're not going to be on the major league roster. But then when you get the chance to tell a kid like, you know, Walden, that you're going to be on it after all that he's gone through, I mean, that is that's priceless.
And Bobby Pointer, the left-hander, had such a fine spring. We've been talking about him all spring, about the possibility he could make this team. Obviously, he impressed the Red Sox brass and Alex Cora, and he's on.
He had a very good day yesterday in the game against the Twins, and I think that really clinched things for him.
So he'll be jumping from Double-A to the big leagues, which is not that big a jump anymore. Used to be a much bigger deal. It's not anymore. That's a bullet up the middle, and Hanley is on with a solid single. First hit off Darvish tonight. Hanley came in hitting .260 with a home run. And Mitch Moreland batting cleanup tonight will be next. These two clubs will meet again tomorrow. We mentioned Jose Quintana, the left-hander, former Chicago White Sox pitcher. He'll go for the Cubs against Hector Velasquez, who is in the rotation.
That was a little bit of a surprise to me. Hector Velasquez making the rotation, and of course, you know, you're going to have some guys come back very quickly for the Red Sox, especially Eduardo Rodriguez.
So the rotation to start the season anyway is Sale, Price, Porcello, Hector Velasquez, and Brian Johnson.
Yep.
Brian's a great story. Of course, he threw that complete game shutout last year against Seattle. He was practicing in a batting cage today. Looked pretty good. And I remember back in college, he was a decent hitter. Better than a decent hitter, in fact. And he's got a nice left-handed swing.
Well, that's what he told Alex Cora, and Cora just kind of laughed at him. He said, that was a long time ago. He was in there trying to bunt today because he'll be pitching, I would imagine, in that Miami series.
That's why he was in the cage today, and at least in a cage, he looked pretty darn good. Got to be able to bunt. Hanley takes off. Little squibber the other way. How about this roller for a base hit? Basically a swinging bunt for Mitch Moreland, and he's on. He's having a pretty good spring with a bat. He's got runners at first and second.
You can see him smiling, too, because, I mean, that's something almost he never does. Hit a ground ball of that side, and that was just kind of tapped down the third base line. But you get to first base, all you can do is smile. It's almost like you're a little embarrassed, but you're not really embarrassed because it's a base hit.
You get there, and there's Rizzo, right? Your fellow first baseman. He's telling you, oh, you really killed it, man.
Yeah, you crushed that one. Next time we'll play the infield in.
But he'll take it. Sends up Xander Bogaerts. Xander, 349 for the spring with 3 home runs. Sox trying to take an early lead against the Cubs. Cubs winning the World Series in 2016, their first in 108 years. And don't we know the pain? Not quite 108 years, but 80,
long enough.
86 was long enough for everybody. In for a called strike.
Darvish picking up that inside corner down around knee high with the breaking ball. You expect that pitch to be away from Bogaerts, and it kind of surprises the hitter when he gets it in that spot.
Darvish signing a 6-year, $126 million deal with the Cubs over the winter. Coming on as a free agent. It's a big signing for Theo and company. Theo is here tonight, along with a brass for the Chicago Cubs. That'll miss. 2-2.
Just a little bit low that time. Caratini, the catcher, tried to bring it up to the strike zone. Darvish thought he had strike 3, but just a little bit down and out of the strike zone. See the catcher, Caratini, bring that back up to try to make it look like a strike.
Ramirez at second, Moreland at first, 2 down. And a wave and a foul tip to hang in there.
A lot of Cubs fans here tonight. It's they got, when they were introducing the Cubs lineup, they were just as loud as when they introduced the Red Sox lineup.
You know, and they saw this game on the schedule this late in spring training. They pounced.
Both games completely sold out tonight, tomorrow afternoon.
Both these clubs opening on the road in Florida. Floated toward right. Here comes Hayward charging. Out goes Baez, and Baez grips it. 2 men left. No score after 1.
Today we run
Spring Training M&S is brought to you by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. By Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. And by Old Dominion, the official freight carrier of Major League Baseball and the Red Sox. See what I got special delivery in an unmarked package earlier tonight before the game started?
I was afraid for you to open that.
So was I a little bit. It was Sports Illustrated. The cover of Sports Illustrated is what this fan wanted me to see. It's got the Yankees all over it, Stanton and Judge, but just had my name on it, and I was supposed to open that.
Yeah, well, save that.
Yeah.
Save that and see what happens. Let's see what happens.
I think I'm gonna see what happens in 6 months. Should be a lot of fun. Kyle Schwarber leading things off here. 0-0. Red Sox and Cubs. Schwarber noticeably more slender than a year ago. He has slimmed down. Schwarber grew up around the Cincinnati area, and he played in a fall league with Andrew Benintendi. Schwarber talked about that. He said, you know, he's not as big. Talking about Benintendi, he's not as big as he is now, meaning, you know, as muscular. And Andrew's put on noticeable size himself this year, but he said, boy, you could tell then. He said, I remember he hit a home run in a fall league game. They were in high school back then. He said, you could tell that was such a sweet swing that he was going to go far very quickly. He's a big admirer of Benintendi, believes he's going to be a superstar. Schwarber hit 30 home runs last year, although he batted just .211.
And a dead pull hitter on the infield. They got the shift on Schwarber on the right side of the infield. Brock Holt back on the grass, the second baseman, and pretty much straight up in the outfield.
(3-2). Got jammed, and that's a foul ball. Very close. In on the handle. Rick Porcello, 11-17 last year. ERA 4.65, a season after 22 wins and the Cy Young. Center field, and a solid base hit for Schwarber. And it's the Cubs' second hit. Red Sox baseball from spring training is always live with MLB at Bat. The app will keep you connected every day with live radio calls, video highlights, and more. Download MLB at Bat right now. It's your #1 Red Sox app. Now one of the Cubs' top prospects, Victor Caratini, the catcher. Hit .342 with power last year at AAA, and he did get a taste of the majors. One home run so far for the spring. Hey, you had spring training, Rem, in both places, in Florida and in Arizona. Did you have a preference?
I preferred Florida, and you know, there's a lot of positive things about Arizona, and one of it's travel. I mean, you don't have to go very far. When I trained out there, we were with the Angels, and we trained in Palm Springs. We'd play a week's worth of games there, and then play a week in Arizona and travel and play all the teams that were in Arizona. So it was a little bit like a long road trip, you know, a week road trip. I preferred Florida only because of the weather. You know, it's very dry out west in Arizona. A lot of wind. We had a lot of wind storms and stuff like that, dust storms, and I kind of felt like when I got to Florida that it was a little bit easier to get in shape. Down here, you got some humidity to deal with, and you know the heat. But it's gorgeous out there. I mean, especially travel-wise, you can't beat it. I mean, you just got teams all over the place there.
You're right on top of each other.
Yeah.
Which, scheduling-wise, you know, getting your games in without long bus trips.
And I got to tell you, when I trained in Palm Springs, nobody wanted to break camp. They didn't want to go to Anaheim.
2-1 fouled away.
Palm Springs is not a bad place to spend spring training.
Right. Yeah, gorgeous there. The weather here for just about every club in Florida has been superb this year. Just superb. Had one rainy day, and the Red Sox had already played a few innings. That was over at Hammond Stadium. The rest of the game got washed out, but that was it.
Yeah.
2-2 hard ground ball single. Caratini on, Schwarber rounding. Jackie's throw. They let it come through. All the way up against that railing, and now the runner Caratini will take 90 feet into second base. So second and third for Chicago and nobody out.
Not quite sure why this ball got through Devers. It was not cut off by Xander Bogaerts, and it looked like the throw was going to be there in time. Let's take a look on replay. There's the base hit. Now Jackie gets over there very quickly and makes a pick up and throw to third base. You can see he spins around. He's looking at the runner. Now what happens with the throw here? It looked like, you know, I think what happened is Devers thought that Bogaerts was going to cut that ball off, and he was not in position to take a throw from him or make a play on the throw.
My first thought was maybe it hit the runner.
Yeah, I thought something weird happened on that, but I think when you look at it on replay, I think Devers thought that Bogaerts was going to cut that ball off. Take one more look at it. Does it hit the runner? Very tough to tell.
Might have gotten him on the foot.
It might have.
So Schwarber at third, Caratini at second, and Jason Hayward the batter. Said a slow spring, hitting a $186. Did he go? He did not. Hayward is the National League's version of Mookie Betts in right field. Defensively, not offensively. But he's a terrific defender, excellent arm. Has not really helped the Cubs much with the bat since he signed with them.
Good change up that time for Porcello right there. 84 miles an hour on that changeup with movement down and away from Haywood.
Cubs with 3 hits off Rick Porcello in these first couple of innings. He's trying to hold with nobody out.
Trying to elevate that fastball after the changeup that was down. He tries to go upstairs with the fastball to see if he can get that swing and miss under the baseball. But that one a little bit too inside for him to take a swing at. But they definitely wanted to elevate the fastball on that pitch.
2-2. Over the top of the hill, here comes Bogaerts. His one play, and we'll get him at first as the run comes in to score. Schwarber touching home play, 1-0 Chicago.
Now you got the infield back. All you got to do is make contact, get the ball on the ground. You're going to get yourself a run. You see the positioning of Bogaerts, so right back up the middle. He's in the proper position, but the infield was back, especially at this stage of the ball game. Now with the one out, the infield is going to come in. I watched Cora do this a number of times this spring, even early in the ball game. If there's one out, there's less of a chance for a big inning, and he brings the infield in.
Baez the batter, 267, no home runs so far in spring training. He's got some pop, 23 home runs last year, 75 runs batted in. He's a second baseman. He does tend to swing a lot. Just about everything. Caratini on at third, and a good stop by Sandy Leon. Cubs eliminated by the Dodgers last year in postseason play. That one still stings. They felt like they had a club to go all the way last year.
That World Series hangover, right? That lasted through much of the first half of the season.
Yes. Got off to a slow start. Called strike. Well, they played the latest World Series in history against the Cleveland Indians, so they had a very short winter
and a lot of events to go to. You become very popular when you haven't won in that long and you win a World Series.
3-1. Bullet, that one into left center all the way to the wall. Takes a hop on the warning track. In to score Caratini. Down to second is Baez. 2-0 Chicago.
Now Baez showing a very quick bat on this swing right here. He gets that breaking ball that really doesn't do very much. I think it might have been a slider that time from Porcello that hangs up in the zone, and Baez jumps all over it for that line shot into left center field.
3-1.
That's a pitch right there that Porcello would love to have back. But you don't get him back.
Sends up Tommy La Stella. 277 no homers. He's driven in 6 runs. It's been so long since a team has repeated as World Series champs, and now it's the Houston Astros trying to do that. They've got a loaded club as well. Another place where expectations are sky high. Just signed Jose Altuve to a massive deal. They're going to be awfully good again. Hard hit, a one-hopper. Brock Holt will handle that. 2 down with a runner advancing. Baez into third. Back up to the top of the order, and Ian Happ for Chicago.
Well, Brock Holt's been all over the place this spring for the Red Sox. All infield positions, second, short, third. He's played left field. And big talk, for a long time. Was it going to be Marrero? Was it going to be Brock Holt? Well, finally, the Red Sox sending Marrero off to Arizona, and Brock Holt, who has batted health issues the last couple of years, feeling good again.
He has, and he's looked it too. He's looked healthier. He's looked locked in. I mean, he's hitting .343, and defensively, Jerry, he's looked sharp. He could be lethargic with that issue that he had, and the concussion was what started that. But then when you're talking vertigo, trying to hit major league pitching, good luck.
Well, he was talking about it, last year. At certain times, he'd go up to the plate, and a pitch would come in, and he'd lose sight of it. Oh. I mean, how can you play baseball that way?
That's scary as heck.
He came in looking very good this spring. I mean, he's got his hair back. He's stronger.
Happ 1 for 1 with a base hit and stole second in the first inning. Chicago in front 2-0.
The first was the style, the hair. The second part was getting stronger physically.
I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And if you get the flow going, you're strong there. You'll be strong everywhere. Here comes the 2-1 to Happ. Not true of Andrew Benintendi. He's going to be a different look this year. He's no longer one of the flow bros.
Well, he's got it. Look at those sides clipped up pretty good, and the back. That's the style. That's what Nesson's style show we're going to have. That's going to be premiering soon.
You're going to host it.
Yeah.
And you popped it up, foul out of play. Along with your Facebook show, which is going to be all the rage, I know.
Looking forward to that.
You're doing the promos, ripping off those promos. That's going to be exciting stuff.
It actually became news to me when I was reading the promo today that I was going to be doing a Facebook Live.
It's when you read it with a question mark. It's like, I'm going to be here when? News to me. Right through there, he struck him out. Side retired, but the Cubs got a couple.
At Bob's, we offer 4 incredible queen mattress sets
2-0 Cubs. Bottom half of the second here from JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. Jerry Remy, Tom Caron, Dave O'Brien alongside. Red Sox will bring up Jackie Bradley, Rafael Devers, Brock Holt against Yu Darvish. Hard throwing right-hander from Japan. Jackie's first trip tonight, hitting 171, no home runs for the spring. Jackie entering his 8th professional season, and he's only 27. .245, 17 home runs last season for the Red Sox. Always in Gold Glove contention. Always a serious candidate for that honor. Will 2018 be the first year he takes one home? Red Sox did face the Cubs during the regular season last year, you may recall, and those are fun games at Fenway. Sox took them 2-1. A lot of Cubs fans flooding Fenway as that misses downstairs. 2-2.
You were talking earlier about some of the renovations that they made at the Cubs ballpark and at Wrigley in Chicago, which they desperately needed. The last time we were there, it was pretty run down.
Yeah.
And a lot of work being put in to that ballpark. So that's not going anywhere, just like Fenway Park's not going anywhere.
A lot of money they've sunk in. Some people say, well, it doesn't even look like Wrigley anymore with all the work they've done on it, especially around the ballpark. I always thought one of the great things about Wrigley was it felt like you were right smack dab in the neighborhood.
You exactly are smack dab in the neighborhood, and try to get a cab after a game.
Yeah, good luck. Do a lot of walking in Chicago. 2-2 to the second baseman, Baez. And one man away. Calling all kids. Kids can attend a game for free at Fenway when they sign up for Kid Nation and earn loyalty points, prizes like autographs and memorabilia. Free kids tickets are available for the first 25,000 tickets redeemed. Visit redsox.com/kidnation to sign up tonight. Do it right now. One out for Rafael Devers. 320, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs here in the Grapefruit League. I bet you had this feeling, you know, like the first time you played at Yankee Stadium, walking down the tunnel, you know, from the clubhouse and walking down the tunnel to the dugout, right?
Yeah. There were two things that I'll remember very, very, very clearly about my first time at Yankee Stadium. You know, my first year in the big leagues, they were doing Yankee Stadium over, and we played at Shea Stadium. We actually played, the Mets and the Yankees were playing all their games at Shea Stadium because they were redoing Yankee Stadium. So I had to wait till my second year before I got that opportunity. And I got to tell you, you walk down that runway, and the first thing you look up at when you get to the bottom is the facade. You know, and it just kind of hits you. And then after that, when you're out there, you're taking batting practice for the first time at Yankee Stadium, and you're thinking about all the great players, who stood in that batter's box over the years for the Yankees through the tremendous history. I'm talking about the old Yankee Stadium. I mean, it's an eerie feeling. And it was one of the loudest ballparks to play in. Of course, we had the great rivalry at that time with the Yankees when I was with the Red Sox. But I mean, it was one of the louder ballparks to play in. You used to hit there, and when Giddy was pitching and he had 2 strikes on you, I mean, they were all standing, rooting for that strikeout. Your legs just shake a little bit.
Yeah, no kidding. I can only imagine. 3-1 to Devers. All filled up. I would imagine it was the same over in the National League and all those years when players would come down the tunnel at Wrigley Field.
Sure.
And, you come out into that dugout. I remember doing it as a young broadcaster and looking up, and man, there it is. I mean, Babe Ruth had that same look, right? That he had the same view.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Boys.
Incredible with that Ivy. Here comes the 3-2. Slicer down the left field line. Hard hit, but foul.
You know, it's interesting because all those old ballparks are ones that, you know, I watched, obviously, on television when I was growing up. And then all of a sudden you're playing in places like Tiger Stadium, Yankee Stadium, in Cleveland, that massive old ballpark they had in Cleveland. I could see, 100,000 people, and they'd get 6,000 a game.
So it's just like the movie Major League, you know, those opening scenes in Major League, right?
Absolutely.
There's nobody there.
No, it was except for opening day.
Yep.
You know, they'd have a good crowd.
And then they'd go away until the next year on opening day, and that'll be ball 4. So Raphael is on. Darvish with his first walk, and Brock Holt will be next.
Remember one time they had a crowd in Cleveland. It was, I believe it was a 4th of July game we were playing there. And after the game, the Beach Boys were putting on a concert after the game. And that's why they had a decent-sized crowd. And I remember the Red Sox players coming. You know, we came out of the dugout and we stood there and watched some of the concert before going back to the hotel. But you didn't see many big crowds there.
Brock Holt, 343 for the spring. There goes Devers, and it's a drop by Caratini. So a stolen base without a throw for Devers.
Yeah, you know, Darvish is very, very slow to home plate, and the Red Sox know that. And you can see the jump right here that Devers gets. I mean, you know, the Red Sox are going to take advantage of things like that. They're going to try to run, but run smart. And here's Devers. He had almost a walking lead. They were paying no attention to him at all, so he gets in a scoring position.
With one down, Sandy Leon on deck, 2-0 Chicago. Brock, the man of many gloves. He'll be on the ball club this year. There was that, yeah, I'd say about a 24-hour period, as Jerry mentioned, that looked like there was a chance that Marrero might be on the club. And then what do you do with Brock? But I think the Red Sox took a hard look at how valuable he can be and the different things that he can do for you. Play so many different positions. Left-hand hitter, can come off the bench and get you a hit. Tonight at second base. Guy who's gone to an all-star game in a Red Sox uniform. And Darvish will step off. Darvish is one of those guys that if the pitch clock is instituted next year has a major adjustment to make.
Yes.
Not only last year, it was rain and
Can't get on track with the signs right now, and here's a trip to the mound that the catcher Caratini really didn't want to make, but Darvish has got a pitch in mind, and he has not seen that signal yet.
You just saw the home plate umpire. Maybe you missed it. Clay Park is the home plate umpire. He just turned around and signaled to the press box. That's visit number 1.
Right, 1 of 6.
there's nothing like a beautiful spring day.
Number to second base. Baez will scoop. Took a quick look, but gets him at first base down to third. Devers. And 2 gone. Very, very good infield defense here by the Chicago Cubs. With Baez and Russell up the middle, and Madden also giving the signal that's 1 time.
Yeah, telling his infield is basically right there. You know, that's 1. That's 1 visit to the mound. So everybody kind of stay in your spot.
Sandy Leon now trying to pick up this run from third with 2 down.
We had a shot of Joe too when the catcher did go out there, and
Here comes a play at the plate, a collision. He is safe at home plate as the baseball came free. And now we'll see if Devers is okay. Colliding with Caratini at the dish. Ruled safe at home. Now we'll see if he's all right. On that pop-up throw by the catcher, Caratini, very sloppy. Devers alertly coming home and tucked that shoulder and plowed into Caratini.
Yeah, Caratini could not hold on to the baseball. If he does, Devers is going to be out. And both guys hurting a little bit. The catcher, Caratini, and also Devers. So concern on both sides right now. That was very strange to see a ball go over the pitcher's head like that. And this is a big man coming into home plate.
Yep, 6 feet, about 240. Had his bell rung a little bit there. Brad Pearson out to check on him. He tore up the uniform too. Now, Red Sox got a huge scare the other day when Chris Sale was nailed by that line drive. He's all right. Raphael scoring on the play. Red Sox on the board. Bizarre play. You almost never see that.
Yeah, it's something that's totally surprising to see a catcher overthrow the pitcher with a man at third base. And, you know, give Devers credit for being heads up and picking that up and going. There's the throw. I mean, not even close to Darvish.
Russell scooping and firing. Not a great throw, but Devers plowing in. It came free out of the glove of Caratini. He took, as you said, a pretty good hit too at home plate.
He did. They were checking both guys. That may be it for Devers for tonight. They don't want to take any chances. We'll see if he comes back out, but I would say probably not.
Sandy Leon with a swing and a miss. An alert base running play gets the Red Sox on the scoreboard.
And a horrible throw by the catcher.
Terrible throw by Caratini. And Darvish had a look on his face like, this is the end of spring training? Hot shot foul. Now TC, I'm sure, will check on the condition of Rafael Devers. See if he continues in this one. Mookie Betts on deck, 2-1 Chicago. I will say this. I think it must be tough for players to remain alert defensively around Darvish because of the plodding pace.
Well, we talk about that a lot, you know, and defensive players like their pitchers to work quickly.
Well, Darvish certainly does not. Been successful in the major leagues, career record of 56-42, 3.42 ERA. This will be his third stop. Texas, the Dodgers last year, and now the Windy City. And much is expected out of him. 1-2. High fly into right field. Hayward there toward the line, and he's got it. Red Sox get on the scoreboard on an aggressive play by Rafael Devers.
Bring
Well, there's the answer. Will Rafael Devers remain in the game? He will not. At third base, it'll be Blake Swihart, and this is a situation he could find himself in during the regular season because the Red Sox plan to move him around.
Absolutely. Came to spring training with a lot of different gloves, and the Red Sox, almost definitely wanting him on the roster. I mean, that's one of the reasons they've been moving him around in different spots, and they feel like his bat can help. It could be a third catcher. Well, we'll see if he gets any action tonight at third base. Most of the games that he's played at third base, he really hasn't got any activity down there.
Yeah.
And we certainly hope Devers is okay. I think a precautionary measure. I think Cora took him out of there very, very quickly just to make sure.
So third inning, 2-1 the Cubs. Chris Bryant will lead it off. He's 0 for 1. Bryant 295, 29 home runs for Chicago last year. Bryant's father coached Bryce Harper when Chris and Bryce were kids growing up in Las Vegas. That has led to a lot of speculation about Harper as a Cub perhaps one day. He'll be a free agent next year. Bryce Harper will be. And might he wind up playing for the Chicago Cubs? I figure he'll go to a really big market that can afford his services. Broken bat there for Chris Bryant. Whether their childhood association is going to help, we'll find out. Nothing talks louder than dollars.
Exactly right. Good call.
Don't you and I know that is true?
Yeah, you're in the same tax bracket as many of these ball players are.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, the money seems to talk, doesn't it, when it comes to free agency?
Yeah, so we'll see about that. There are several teams that are going to line up, I'm sure, for Bryce Harper's services. Bryant stings this one high, deep drive to right center field, but Jackie Bradley has plenty of room out there. So one man gone. Let's go to TC.
Yeah, thanks, OB. A couple of pitching notes today. Stephen Wright was placed on the DL. He had a PRP shot. They said it's not a setback, but just part of the ensuing rehab. So his 15-game suspension won't begin until he comes off the DL, so it'll be longer than expected. And Eduardo Rodriguez, who is on the DL, will have a new number. Here we are at number 57 this year. The problem is that number was worn by coach Carlos Fablis. So negotiations ensued, and it was agreed upon that tomorrow when the team arrives in St. Pete, Eduardo Rodriguez will buy dinner for the entire team and the coaching staff. And Alex Cora wanted to make sure we told everyone how appreciative they are.
The entire ball club?
Everybody.
Is that like, appetizers too and dessert?
I'm guessing it's the full course, and I'm guessing team broadcasters are not included.
Yes.
No, I missed that. I'll tell you what, that's going to be some bill that's going to come across his table tomorrow night.
Yep.
Because when you know that one of your teammates is taking you out, you do it up big time.
Rizzo 0 for 1. He's popped up foul to third. What's your over-under on what that bill actually is?
That's a good call. Now you're going to have 25 guys up there tomorrow night. Now maybe a few will come up on the next day.
Line shot. That one gets by. Porcello did not touch him, but off into center field, and Rizzo has a single.
Well, you figure it's not going to be a cheap restaurant, right?
It's probably a 5-star.
So you're talking maybe what, $100, $125 per person?
Wait, yeah, at least let's go 150. Let's say everyone's doing steaks.
Yeah.
Maybe lobster appetizers.
Right.
So that alone, that's close to $4,000, right? For 25 guys.
Right. And they get your tip.
And then tip on top of that. If we tip the way you tip, I mean, that's at least another $3,000. So I'm telling you, that's going to be stiff.
That's an expensive dinner.
So eat up, man. Some very expensive restaurants over there. Red Sox headed for Tampa and then Miami after that. And then home April 5th against the Tampa Bay Rays for the home opener. Addison Russell 0 for 1. Runner on at first after the single by Rizzo.
You and I will be at Subway
For Lucky
tomorrow night.
Could get in the last of that per diem. Our Nesson per diem. Chop. Here's Bogarts. Got one on the first and a double play. And Porcello, who will do that a lot when he's right, gets the twin killing.
On an all-new episode of the award-winning documentary
Jim Beam Dugout Suite is the first and only field-level private space at Fenway. This brand new experience puts you and your guests closer to the action than ever before. Just email premiumsales@redsox.com or call 617-226-6912 and learn more about the Jim Beam Dugout Suite. Mookie Betts to lead off the bottom of the third. 2-1 Cubs. 0 for 1. He's tapped to second tonight after 2 home runs yesterday against the Twins. That gives him 3 for the spring. So his numbers up about what you expect, right? 333 with some pop. Despite the 0 for 16 start.
That's a pitch right there. You know, yesterday he got a breaking ball that just stayed over the middle of the plate. That one was outside. That's why there was no contact from Betts. But the one yesterday stayed right over the heart of the plate, and he just absolutely crushed it. That's a good pitch by Darvish.
Mookie, 25 years old. JD Martinez on deck. Past the mound, going to be a tough play here for Russell, and off his fingertips, it'll be a base hit. That was a do-or-die play, and Mookie is on with a single.
That's the advantage when you have the speed like Betts. You know, right there. I mean, Russell knows that even if he comes up with a clean with the bare hand, he's not going to get Betts at first base. But that's the only option he had. Sometimes on this type of play, you're better off just fielding with your glove and not making a throw at all. That time he tries to bare-hand it, can't get it in the fingers of the glove, of the hand, and look at Betts go down that line. He knows he's got a base hit. That's a nice feeling.
Third hit tonight for the Sox, and JD Martinez 0 for 1 tonight.
Now, if we saw Devers go early, you may see Betts go.
And Martinez with that big hole on the right side, and as we've watched him throughout spring training, getting used to his hitting style, He's not afraid to go that way on the ground. I know people talk about his power in the air to right and right center, but he'll take those singles to right too. And you know, I'd love to get at least one home run before the end of spring training. Came in hitting .310. Runner goes. Ground ball to the right side. It'll be picked up by Rizzo. Will get the out there. Mookie safely into second.
You see what JD tried to do right there is he knew Betts took off at first base. So there's no way they had a hit and run play on, but he knew there was going to be a wide open hole between first and second, and when that swing was designed to try to put the ball in that spot. Now that ball's away. You see Martinez going in that direction because that side was wide open. I mean, they're not playing hit and run with J.D. Martinez. There's no question about that. But that's, you know, he's got all that open area. He's just trying to get a base hit to the opposite field.
And Ramirez stung a line drive base hit in the first inning. 1 for 1 as he digs in again. As a runner at second. You're talking about J.D. Martinez and the impact he might make with the Red Sox. The expectations are so high, but realize he appeared in only 119 games last year.
Right.
And hit 45 home runs and drove in 104. 119 games and 45 homers. Hanley the DH tonight. Wind has been blowing in over the last inning or so. As Jerry mentioned, it has changed directions today.
Hanley almost came out of his shoes on that swing right there. He was back on his heels chasing that high fastball. Almost lost his balance and fell down.
Mitch Moreland on deck. Mookie Betts adds second, one away. To right field, a slicer. Hayward makes a diving attempt, can't get it. Betts had to retreat to second base. He'll take off for third now, and he's safely there. And Hanley is 2 for 2. Hayward tried to make a spectacular catch on it. Was able to keep in front of him, though.
That was a tough call, too, for Mookie Betts because he wasn't quite sure. You know, he knows how good Hayward is out there and thinking that maybe he'll make this catch and then he'll tag up and go to third. Nice effort right there, but couldn't quite come up with it. And also a very nice piece of hitting by Hanley Ramirez, taking that ball to the opposite field. There you see the little slip right there as he's heading back to the bag, so they have to hold him at third base. Now with the man in scoring position, a first and third situation, no shift on Moreland in the infield.
Mitch with an infield hit a little bounding ball to third base in the first inning. There was no one there, so he's 1 for 1. Moreland with a pair of home runs this spring. Fouls that one away, 1-1.
Cora's done a nice job really getting Martinez, Ramirez, and Moreland in a lot of games. You know, by getting Martinez some time out there in left field. Hanley at first base or DH, and the same for Moreland.
And J.D. Martinez in left field tonight. Moreland at first base, Hanley the DH. That will be a challenge for the rookie manager this year to make sure once the regular season starts they get enough. Falls under the category of a good problem to have, but Trying to keep everybody happy, although winning takes care of so much. 2-1. Ground ball to the right side. Sliding step. Baez guns to second, on to first, and not in time. And Mookie Betts touches home, and the Red Sox have tied it. Nearly a dazzling double play.
Yeah, I mean, wow, Baez, how quickly did he get that ball to second base and give them a chance to get a double play? I mean, he's got to go to his left to make this play, and look how quickly he dives, gets rid of it, and they almost turn it over. Very close play at first base. Moreland hustling down the line, and the Red Sox picking up a run. But that was, I'll tell you what, that by Baez was very impressive.
Most think that that's the best double play combination in the National League. Baez and Russell.
I'm not gonna argue that.
So Moreland a runner at first for Xander Bogaerts. Xander 0 for 1. He's flied to right. Game tied 2-2. Not many spring training games generate buzz, but Red Sox and Cubs in Florida does. At least some. I'm not talking about the 7th game of the World Series, but it's got a nice feel to it. Two very good ball clubs. And playing mostly their everyday stars.
This at some point, though, will turn into a spring training game.
You can bet on it. You can bet on it.
And tomorrow's will really be a spring training game.
Like from pitch number 1 tomorrow. You want to see some of the better prospects of the two ball clubs? Tune in tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow.
A big season coming up for Xander Bogaerts, and he knows it. Trying to turn things around from last year. 273 with the 10 home runs. Hit 21 homers, drove in 89 the year before, while hitting almost 300. So if he can get back to that kind of hitter. And I know a lot of people think that Xander's capable in the power category of even more than that.
I've been calling for that for the last year or so, that I think he's got the ability to get up there somewhere between 15 and 20 home runs. I really do. But last year with the hand problem that he had, that made that just about impossible.
High fly left center. Happ on the run to the alley along with Schwarber, and he'll make the catch. Retiring the side, but the Red Sox get another run, and they have tied it at 2.
New show. Need a new
Baseball is back, and NESN is bringing you extended pregame coverage and the opening day ceremonies. Join us Thursday afternoon, 2:30. TC, Jim Rice, Steve Lyons get you ready for the new season. Don't miss it. Red Sox opening day on NESN Thursday afternoon beginning at 2:30. Rick Porcello back out for his 4th inning. In a 2-2 game, he'll be taking on Schwarber, Caratini, and Hayward. Kyle Schwarber, a base hit and a run in the 2nd. He'll drop that one into left field for a base hit. Picking on the very first pitch, and Schwarber is 2 for 2. And Caratini will be next. He singled his first time up.
Well, you were right, Dave. Now, quite a difference in the size of Schwarber this year. He has taken off some weight. Looks to be in much better shape than he has been in the past. He's a big guy.
You know, last year he suffered with it with the size that he had. He hit just 211. He'd still hit the ball a long way. He's got a nice stroke, but his overall offensive production was not what he had hoped as their everyday left fielder. Caratini looking at a strike. Again, Rafael Devers forced to leave the ball game after a collision at home plate. We'll get an update on Rafael. It did appear to be more precautionary than anything else, as Jerry mentioned. Although a pretty good collision for a spring training game in particular. On a really weird play where the catcher Caratini popped up his throw, routine throw back to the mound, and it cleared the mound on the fly well over the head of Darvish. Landed on the grass behind the pitcher's mound. Russell, the shortstop, charged in, fired to home plate with Rafael Devers charging home. Here's another look at that play.
Watch this throw from the catcher. And right there, Devers, who was backpedaling toward third base, saw that and started to go. The home plate was blocked by the catcher, and they had a pretty solid collision.
Line shot foul by Caratini.
The catcher never really was able to hold on to the baseball. Caratini, he dropped it, but everybody was concerned immediately about both players because it was almost like a shoulder to shoulder. How about that, huh? Look at that. Isn't that nice?
Outstanding.
Come to the game, get a baseball, give mom a hug.
Some of the many Cubs fans in attendance here tonight. 0-2. Diving back in, Schwarber at first base. And some might be wondering, why was the catcher blocking Devers' lane to home plate? Well, the throw was into the runner, and a catcher is allowed to obviously go and get the throw. If that takes him into the pathway of the runner, that's acceptable. One, two, and fouled away. TC, do you have an update on Rafael Devers?
Yeah, we do. Just got an update. It's a right knee contusion. He's listed as day-to-day, but a contusion, much like we talked about Chris Sale the other day, no doubt painful, and where it's the knee, you'll have to see the swelling and such tomorrow. So day-to-day right knee contusion at the moment for Rafael Devers.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. I was fearing a concussion or something like that, you know?
Yeah, or a shoulder.
Or a shoulder.
Yeah, it looked like they went shoulder to shoulder.
One, two. All even on Caratini. Jason Hayward next.
One more look at that play at home plate. Very strange play. Devers. Yeah, hit his knee first. You could see that, and that kind of slowed him down, which is maybe a good thing, because if they'd have collided shoulder to shoulder at full speed, it could have been ugly for both of them.
Talking to some players, some of the Red Sox around the batting cage tonight, and the coaches, and you know what several guys mentioned? It's nice to be under the lights again. There are not many opportunities in spring training to play under the lights.
Well, that's what they like when they get in the regular season, because obviously most of the games are night games, and that's what they're accustomed to. They get to sleep in the morning, obviously, and then of course they get to the ballpark mid-afternoon, or early afternoon, I should say, and and play that night game. The one thing I didn't like about night games in spring training is the fact that it takes you out of your schedule that you've been in. And also the lighting at a lot of the minor league ballparks are not as good, not even close as good to his major league stadiums.
I've heard a lot of young outfielders toss over to first base and back in Schwarber over the years at spring training talk about what a difference it is to go from the smaller ballparks, obviously with the single level ballparks here, and then you go to triple deckers
right
when opening day rolls around, and man, that adjustment is tough. Runner goes, and he flicked it foul. Because you can lose the ball so easily, and those white shirts or light colored clothing as you get into that second and third level. Tied up here 2-2 in the fourth. Rick Porcello to go in game number 3 of the regular season against the Tampa Bay Rays at the Trop. Red Sox opening up the regular season with 3 left-handers. And as TC reported earlier, Eduardo Rodriguez will be on that 10-day DL to begin the season. 2-2, a chop to first, down to get it Moreland. He'll fire down and get him there. Back to first, and a double play. Nicely turned by the Red Sox, and just like that, 2 gone.
I love the way they turned that double play. No panic, no rush. The ball was not hit very hard, but Moreland took his time to make sure he made the good throw to second base. He's way inside the runner, so he's no doubt he's not going to hit the runner. You see that Bogarts gives him a target away from the runner, and then Xander didn't even have to rush to get that out at first base. Caratini does not run that well, and so they were able to, once they get that force out at second, they had the double play easy.
3-6-3, 2 away, fouled back by Hayward. He's 0 for 1, but he picked up an RBI on a ground out in the second. And the 0-1. Now twist foul back out of play. Red Sox officially concluded their Grapefruit League season yesterday, playing Cactus League opponents here tonight and tomorrow in the Cubs. So they finished with the major's best spring training record at 20 wins, 9 losses, and 1 tie. Oh, Porcello thought he had a strike there. He thought he had him struck out.
Yeah, 3 steps toward the dugout. Did not get the call on the pitch on the outside part of the plate. See what Leon set up well off the outside edge, and he had to reach back to make that catch, so it looked like he had the strike.
It's the first time the Red Sox finished the Grapefruit League with the best record since 1999. Bases empty, 2 down, 2-2. And he gets him on the swing and a miss.
This is a bar, and this is an
Right here in the bottom half of the 4th inning on a pretty windy night at the moment. That wind is gusting in. Look at the starting rotation for the Red Sox first 5 games of the season, and the Cubs are going to go to the bullpen and bring on the veteran left-hander Brian Dunsing. Signed a 2-year contract in January, returning to the Cubs after a strong year last year. Longest stretch of his career was with the Minnesota Twins between 2009 and 15. He takes over for Yu Darvish, who allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. So Jackie Bradley first man against him. Jackie 0 for 1. He's grounded to second. Blake Swihart on deck. It'll be Blake's first at bat tonight. He replaced Devers after that home plate collision.
There you go.
Hard hit. Easy scoop by Bryant. 1 down.
And one thing they tell you at third base is play low to the ground, because those fastballs, those baseballs get down there very quickly off contact, and that's exactly what Bryant was doing there, and made a nice backhanded play on it. Didn't look like much, but a fine play. And a little bit of a surprise, because you don't see Jackie go that quickly to the opposite field, or that often to the opposite field.
Man down for Blake Swihart, to a bat right-handed. Blake, a member of the Red Sox in 2018. He is on the roster. He's played some left, some first base, third base. Obviously he's caught play at first, and it gets by with Dunsing covering, and Swihart will be safe at the bag.
Well, you knew that was going to be trouble right there. As soon as you saw Anthony Rizzo go to try to make the play, that means the pitch is going to get over and cover. And this throw, he's trying to time it so he can lead the pitcher to the bag, but it wasn't really that bad of a throw. Dunsing, it's like he was doing everything he possibly could to get there, but just couldn't quite to catch up to the throw. I think if that happened all over again, I think Rizzo would probably just pass on that and go right to the bag and let the second baseman handle it.
So Sox with a base runner with 1 down, and Brock Holt, the hitter, 0 for 1 with a grounder to second. Red Sox benefiting from an out that should have been made. Sandy Leon on deck. High chop and a foul ball. Gloved by Rizzo anyway. Rizzo really looked at as the heart and soul of the Chicago Cubs. 28 years old. He's really become their leader. Huge part of a championship team. Well, you get that in Chicago. It was like any of the Red Sox in 04 will be immortalized for what they did that year, bringing a World Series to Boston.
Right.
You'll have that for the rest of your life. You will never buy another meal in Chicago. I was listening to Joe Madden, of course, was the manager of that club a couple of years ago when they finally won the World Championship, and he was talking about how fond he is of spring training and the languid days of spring training. And someone said, well, you don't think it's too long? He said, oh no, I love the slow dance. And I'm thinking to myself, he's kind of full of it, isn't he? I mean, in that instance, I think he's a great manager, but come on, Joe. I mean, come on. Oh, the slow dance, he said.
It is a slow dance, that's for sure.
Sure is. It's a dance that the players are done with by this point. But
it's like the high school prom, you know, where you get out there and you dance, and it's like the song's never going to end. You want it to end because you can't dance a lick.
Right.
And you want that song to end. That spring training is a lot like that in my book, because you want to get on to the real thing.
Yes.
Managers enjoy going through the fundamentals, and they enjoy, the relationship with the players. But spring training is so long.
Shortstop Russell will feed his second baseman. The gun on to first base. They can really turn it. Double play retires the side. The end of 4. We're tied up 2-2. Welcome.
The 5th inning here at JetBlue Park. We're all tied up at 2 apiece. Red Sox and Cubs coming together, arguably the 2 most passionate fan bases in all of baseball. So great opportunity for these 2 groups to come together and help out a couple of great charities. The Red Sox Foundation and the foundation to be named later, of course, started by Theo Epstein and his brother Paul Epstein, had a little concert outside and a little party, barbecue, some drinks, and the music was performed by none other than one of those immortals from 2004 you just talked about, Dave O'Brien. Bronson Arroyo was here singing. Peter Gammons was here playing guitar. And all in all, they had a great time raising money for a great cause.
Peter Gammons is amazing. We talked about that the other day, and still getting it done, as well as on the guitar. But we talked to Bronson last year in Cincinnati as his career was coming to an end. He's a great kid. Not really a kid. I mean, he pitched until he was 40,
Yeah, you forget about that. He was around a long time.
Really had a strong career and very, very fondly remembered in Boston. As we're underway here in the 5th inning, Baez doubled in a run in the 2nd inning.
Guys, one of the great things, too, is they're all hanging out in a couple of suites here. David Ross is here, of course, winning championships with both teams, and Bronson Arroyo, Peter Gammons, and the people who spent the money to support these good causes, getting to hang out with them and watch the ball game.
We saw Theo Epstein take a turn on the radio a couple of minutes ago.
Also want to point out, guys, they will do it again tomorrow after the day game. So a little post-game party. Tickets are still available. You can get more information at RedSoxFoundation.org.
Yeah, those rock groups, they can't get up in the morning and do it before a game, that's for sure. They've got to wait till after the game. A whole different lifestyle, right?
Kind of like that lifestyle, yes. Sleep in, work nights. That's the baseball lifestyle.
Peter Gammons is the Keith Richards of that group.
Yes. Right. That's a pretty darn good retirement. Busted bat on the infield. Holt will scoop and get him. 1 man away. Bronson always had the hairstyle, the rocker hairstyle anyway. So it made sense he'd pick up a guitar. And we saw him last year in Cincinnati. He played a concert after the Sox had played against the Reds there. And he is talented. He has legit talent on that thing. Tommy La Stella here. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. Sox 2, Cubs 2. Rick Porcello into his 5th. Facing an excellent lineup here tonight.
He's had some very good changeups in this game tonight. I'm sure he's very pleased with that.
Ian Happ on deck will be their opening day center fielder. They also have Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Addison Russell, Kyle Schwarber, and that's going to hit him. So La Stella will be on, a hit batsman with 1 down. Red Sox spring training games on NESN are brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Happ has singled, stolen a base, and been called out on strikes here tonight. Last 4 games, the Red Sox pitching staff has only allowed a handful of runs. They've only allowed 3 runs. Shut out the Yankees on Friday, blanked the Astros on Saturday, and gave up 1 run to the Twins yesterday, and just a couple of runs tonight.
And that run was very early in the game yesterday, a home run by Brian Dozier.
Twins should be very competitive.
They got a nice little ball club. They really do. Problem is, for them, are the Cleveland Indians.
Yes. Indians will be stacked again. They'll be the favorite in the Central, as these Cubs are in their Central. Over in the National League.
Seems like the team that everybody's picking, we were talking about it prior to the ball game tonight, the Washington Nationals.
Cross for a called strike. It could be a magical year there for the Nats. Maybe the last year for Bryce Harper there. We shall see. Very strong staff. Here's the 0-2 to Happ. Sandy came up to throw but lost the handle on it.
Now, Sandy loves to throw behind those left-handed hitters, you know, with the man at first base. Both he and Christian Vasquez enjoy doing that.
Red Sox will have 3 men on the opening day roster who could catch. Blake Swihart, of course, number 3, is at third base here tonight, coming in as a substitute. It's a luxury not many teams have. Blake Swihart's also that rarity as a guy who catches you can bring in as a pinch runner. Good enough, fast enough to do that. He got him.
That's that changeup again I was talking about. That's been very, very effective tonight for Rick Porcello. A lot of movement on that pitch. It's not just off speed, but it's, you can see how it's running away from those left-handed hitters.
He's gotten Happ twice on strikes. So 3 strikeouts for Porcello and 2 down for Chris Bryant, who has grounded out and flied out. Bryant changed his swing last year to try and make better contact. As you were talking about, Jerry, a major issue for the Cubs is strikeouts last year. He wanted to put the ball in play more, and it worked. In his case, he took more walks. Hit almost 300, 29 home runs. And the 0-1. He wasn't thrilled with that call. Strike 2 as he looked back at Clay Park.
He thought that breaking ball was down and away that time, but Porcello getting the call.
Must be getting close to opening day because we haven't seen many look back at the umpire.
And you see him in spring training every now and then. Nobody likes to make an out or get called out on a bad pitch.
0-2 is in tight. Two down. Runner at first base. LaStella with 2 away. Man, the 1-2 to Bryant. He goes up the middle for a base hit. First and second for Chicago. Bryant, a very good hitter.
So after getting a little bit angry on a call that he didn't think was a good pitch, Porcello tries to change up again. This one stays up in the zone a little bit, and Bryant does a good job staying on it and taking it right back up the middle.
Sends up the 3-hitter Anthony Rizzo as singled and popped up 1 for 2. They're going to run for Bryant. Court coming in to run for him. His night is over as Rizzo fouls away strike 1. 32 homers, 109 RBIs a season ago for Chicago. Two on, 2 out. Down to the dirt and stopped by Leone. He scampers to get it. Did not roll far enough for the runners to advance.
Hey, you don't want to take that chance. You got 2 outs. You're in scoring position. You got Rizzo at the plate, so you want to be making absolutely sure that the catcher cannot throw you out. That time they hold their ground at second base. Leone tracked it down, and Rizzo still hitting with a man in scoring position.
Little number here off third base. Swihart handles that one clean and gets him to retire the side.
Here's how Old Dominion put
Brought to you by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. And by Jordan's Furniture. the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Sox are locked up 2-2 here at the midway point against the Chicago Cubs. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien, and Tom Caron alongside. Eaton is good here. Here comes Steve Cishek out of their bullpen. He signed a 2-year deal as a free agent. And it could be tough to pick up.
Yeah, it drops down to the side, almost submarine style delivery.
Thank you.
Last season with Seattle and Tampa Bay, 49 total games.
It'll be Leon, Betts, and Ramirez, the scheduled batters here for Martinez, and then Ramirez. Hanley has 2 hits tonight. JD hitless. Mookie Betts is 1 for 2. And Sandy Leon is 0 for 1 with a fly to right. Cubs have out hit the Sox 7-4. Yu Darvish got the start for Chicago. He went 3 innings. Little flare into right. Hayward covers the ground for the out, 1 away. And Mookie will be next. When you start to look at Mookie Betts, Jerry, and at this point in his career, now 25 years old, and he's won 2 Gold Gloves. He's established himself as an all-star, an elite player in Major League Baseball. When you start to set your expectations for him, are you at a 30-30 season, another Gold Glove?
You know, there's no question about the defensive ability of Mookie Betts out in right field. I mean, you know, that's almost a lock that's going to happen. 30 home runs should be a lock for Mookie Betts. I wonder about the 30 steals. He
tags this one deep. Man, did he hit it, but foul.
I wonder about the 30 steals. I'm not so sure with the guys hitting behind him this year that he's going to run quite as much as maybe he has in the past. Now, I could be totally wrong with that. We saw him take off and get a stolen base tonight. That was against Darvish. But you got some pretty good guys hitting behind you, and he may not run that much, but 30 home runs is certainly a possibility for Mookie Betts. You know, the best thing about it is he's respected so highly by his peers.
Oh, he sure is. You talk to his coaches and his teammates, and they already believe he's at a superstar level.
Yeah, and other players around the major leagues, they put him in the category of a superstar.
Rips another one foul. I can tell you who doesn't put himself there. It's Mookie Betts. I mean, Mookie chastises himself when he's in a cold spell as much as anybody I've seen in a long time with this kind of ability. Swing and a miss. That one gets him. Foul tip to the mitt, and he strikes out.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, when you drop down, you're a right-hander against a right-handed hitter, and you drop down to the side like that and throw a breaking ball, it's like a frisbee. And he keeps it to the outside part of the plate. That's exactly the spot that he wanted it, and no contact from Betts.
Cishek is tough. JD Martinez 0 for 2. A couple of groundouts tonight. 1 to third, 1 to first. Sox 2, Cubs 2. Quickly 0-2 on Martinez. Hanley on deck. And he lays off that one. Ooh, that hits him. Got him up high, so JD Martinez hit by a pitch. Each side has had a hit batsman tonight, and the Sox have a base runner.
Yeah, it looked like it got him somewhere around the elbow or on that left arm. Let's take another look on replay. That ball running back inside on J.D. Martinez. He'll just take first base. Seems to be okay.
So Hanley will bat in the inning. He has a pair of singles tonight in the first and the third inning. Last season 242, 23 homers. RBIs went down from 111 to 62, so looking for a bounce back year at the age of 34.
A couple of fastballs in almost the exact same spot to Hanley to start him off and get him down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Cishek working a little too fast. Hanley had a walk-off home run in the 15th inning against Toronto. And a walk-off RBI single in the 19th inning against Toronto. So he was the guy the Red Sox wanted to have come up in extra innings. Cuts and misses for strike 3, side retired, 1 man left.
Today we run to raise awareness about the health.
It's Wally's opening day tomorrow after the Red Sox game. Wally the Green Monster brings to life this animated special full of humor the whole family can enjoy. Gear up for opening day in this special way. A presentation of Wally's opening day tomorrow after the Red Sox spring training coverage on NESN. It'll be game 2 against these Cubs right here from JetBlue. And that will be it for spring training baseball. Joe Kelly now out of the bullpen, relieving Rick Porcello.
Joe Kelly, 54 appearances a year ago, ERA at 2.79. Opponents only with a 2.02 average against Kelly. Has the ability to throw the ball at 99, 100 miles an hour at times. Mix in that breaking ball, change speeds, and then the hitters just can't look for that 99 fastball.
Addison Russell is 0 for 2. Did that against Rick Porcello. Solid tune-up for Rick. He goes 5, gives up 2 runs, 7 hits. As you said, had some nice change-ups tonight.
I thought he did, yeah. I thought he had very good movement on his change-ups tonight.
Russell, Schwarber, and Caratini, the scheduled hitters here for Chicago.
See Kelly in this sequence here. He started him off with a slider, and then he comes back with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball and quickly has the count 0-2.
Russell is mentioned with Baez, forms arguably the best double play combination in the National League. Went through a messy divorce last season. He wound up hitting just .239. He's had a pretty good spring. He came in hitting .359. Kelly trying to strike him out. The 1-2. Is it David Ross who just popped in to say hello?
Yeah, it was.
He's everywhere. Of course, played for both clubs, won a championship with both clubs. And now he's on ESPN. He's a big star on ESPN. Little squibber, foul off first.
He's always been known for his performance on Dancing with the Stars.
Did you watch any of that?
Oh, I love that show.
Is that one of your favorites?
It's I'm telling you, they're great athletes. They really are. And to see how hard they work, you know, the non-pros, and how good some of them get is really amazing. And it's a lot of work.
The 2-2 from Kelly. Did he hold up? He did. Russell still alive. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's what my life's come to, Dave. You know, Dancing with the Stars and The Voice, things like that. You know,
reality television.
Yeah, it's amazing. The older I get, the less I watch.
But what you watch, you're addicted to, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can't miss it. You know.
It's you know, it's like with the Patriots.
No,
you're not going to miss a Sunday.
I mean, for the, that starts like on Monday for me, and it's like I can't wait for Sundays or Thursdays. Or
yeah, well, that's the way it is these days. Yeah. Well, one of the problems popped into short right, and Mookie with the catch, 1 away. The Schwarber will be next. He's gone 2 for 2 with a pair of singles.
You know, the wife and I, we like to, you know, especially when it comes to the end of The Voice and you have the championship night, we like to gather, you know, with about as many people as we possibly can over at the house.
Get a big crowd over?
Get a big crowd. You know,
30 or 40 people?
Entertain.
That's right up your alley.
Yeah, I'm so social.
That's how you are. Yeah. Get the whole neighborhood in.
Yeah. Everybody come on over. And
sure.
Stay as long as you'd like, too.
Eat as much as you want. That'll scoot right past Leon. Hey, the fridge is open. Take whatever you want.
Come on, come early, stay late.
It's going to be the theme of your new Facebook special, which is all the rage. It'll be a huge hit. Come stay at Jerry's.
I'm looking forward to finding out what that's all about. I may be going on a cruise or something.
Right. You never know when they hand you a promo to read what you are signing up for.
No, it was a total surprise to me, but I'm really looking forward to it. And you know, maybe we can get some kind of a cruise going and go to the captain's dinner and have everybody bring their tuxedos for that.
Everybody in a tux around St. John's. Here's the 1-1 that catches the corner.
Do you like cruising?
Yeah, I don't quite know how to answer that, but I would say I've done a couple of them, and about 2 or 3 days in, I start to lose my mind.
Yeah, I've done one. I did.
That
one.
was it.
Yeah, and almost got off the boat.
So I don't think you're allowed to do, you know, in the middle of the ocean. But I had that thought myself.
We started off in Miami. We were heading toward Puerto Rico, and we hit a tropical storm.
Oh yeah.
On the first night, and it was pretty nasty. It was you know, so I told my wife, I said, if this continues, we're off. We're going to get off and take a plane and go stay somewhere.
Sky high to center. Jackie has to wait for this one now, creeping in with that wind taking it back a bit. And Schwarber is now 2 for 3. Yeah, I didn't need a storm, you know, to want to get off the boat.
Yeah.
Like I had enough. Tonight's Red Sox spring training game on NESN, brought to you in part by Ace Ticket, where Red Sox fans go for tickets to all their favorite events, sports, concerts, theater, and more. The best selection at the lowest prices. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS.
You know, I'm sure that cruises have improved throughout the years. This is a long time ago that I went on this cruise, and when it finally ended, you know, you finally get to the end of the cruise, and then you got to recapture your luggage.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They used to put it all like in a big terminal.
Right.
And you try. It took you like 3 days to find your luggage.
Because everybody's looked alike.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that was awful. On second thought, you and I are never going on another cruise.
No.
Because no one will ever allow us on another cruise.
Exactly.
After this promotion.
I don't know. Just there's things you just don't forget. You know, but I'm sure they're much better than when they're now.
The food's great. You know, you can eat your weight on one of these cruises. Like a 3-day cruise, you could eat your own weight. I don't necessarily advise that. 1-2 the count on Caratini, who is singled and hit into a double play. Sox and the Cubs tied up 2-2. Yeah, no one's ever going to offer you or I a cruise as long as we live.
It's okay with me.
Coming over to your place. 1-2, a miss inside on Caratini. Hayward is on deck. 7 hits for the Cubs tonight. Sox have 4. It was Darvish against Porcello at the outset. And the 2-2 from Joe Kelly, trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning. And he will. That one really disappeared to get him.
Bring a championship back to Boston is
The 6th inning here at JetBlue, and season ticket plans provide fans with the best seats, price, and benefits the Sox have to offer. Plans start at 10 games and are available right now. For more information, you can go to redsox.com/season tickets or call 877-RED SOX 9 today. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien, and TC along. Justin Wilson, both with Detroit and Chicago last year. 65 appearances and a 3.41 ERA. Difficult to hit, a 190 batting average against him.
This is a great pickup right here for the Cubs.
Moreland, Bogarts, Bradley. Red Sox trying to get on top here. Cub pitching's been tough. Just 4 Boston hits. And one of the Red Sox runs came on a home plate collision on a very strange play when Rafael Devers scampered home from third after the catcher Caratini popped up a lazy throw over Yu Darvish's head, simply returning it back to the pitcher.
There we go.
That one ripped toward the wall to left. That's a rising shot high up there. That catches the monster. Moreland scampering to second base. He's there with a double.
Well, he's had a good night. A single back in the first inning, a 4-6 that brought in a run back into the third inning, and now a double. Lefty against lefty. He gets the fastball inside out swing and puts it high off that to the left field wall. That's a pretty swing right there by Moreland going to the opposite field.
There we go.
We saw that a lot in the first half last season, didn't we?
Sure did.
Taking aim at the big wall, so he's got a second hit tonight. And Xander Bogaerts will try and pick him up. Xander has flied out twice, once to right, once to center. Xander with a more upright stance this spring than we saw last year, working with Tim Hires. Red Sox kind of caught him, bending too much at the waist. I'd like to see him use his strength and pull the ball a little more frequently. Certainly has the power to hit it out of the ballpark. He's done it 3 times so far here in Florida. Jackie Bradley next. Moreland at second. And a strike.
It's going back to Saturday with Bogaerts hitting the home run here at JetBlue. Over everything out there in left field. Kind of a drop down side pitcher. Takes it deep.
Cubs making a stop through Florida, heading to Miami for their opening day on Thursday against the Marlins. Sox will soon enough be there themselves. That one really disappeared. Tough pitch, and he struck him out.
You saw a number of fastballs that were high in the zone, a belt high or above, and then all of a sudden he gets the fastball down around the ankles.
So Xander fans 0 for 3 tonight. One man gone for Jackie Bradley.
Changing his eye level that time from looking up in the zone to all of a sudden having to swing at a pitch that's down around his shins.
Deep short. Russell with the runner moving up. Guns close, and he got him.
Yeah.
Down to third base is Moreland.
Yeah, these guys are good, aren't they? Shortstop, second baseman. You figure with Bradley running and the shortstop Russell having to go to his right, that he's got a pretty good chance of beating this out. He had a couple of options. One go to third, the other one go to first base. And he goes to first base the long way to get the out. Bradley getting down the line as quickly as he possibly can, but a terrific play by Addison Russell.
I'll send up Blake Swihart. Blake batting for the second time. Reached on an error by the second baseman Baez his first time up. Cubs have made 2 errors. Blake .262 with 3 home runs this spring.
Nice play by Caratini. That ball, that slided down in the dirt right there and really saved the run. And that ball hitting the dirt before it found the glove.
Across for a strike. Moreland started the inning with a double. He's now at third, but with 2 down. I know Cub fans, when they see David Ross, they remember their championship, but he brings back so many memories from a championship season with the Red Sox. And what a positive influence he was, even when he wasn't playing. Swing and a miss. Down he goes, strike 3. And a runner held at third, still tied 2-2.
New show. Need a new show to watch? Show me drama.
She's gone! Top of the 7th inning. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien with you. It's all tied up here, 2-2. That is Cole Sturgeon taking over in right field for Mookie Betts, and Tate Matheny, the new center fielder, in for Jackie Bradley. So the changes have begun. Heath Hembry will be the new Red Sox pitcher as we go to the 7th. 62 appearances last year, 3.63 ERA for Heath, and a very, very different hairstyle this year. Shorter is the way to go, Jerry.
Yeah, except for Brock Holt. He went longer, and Henry went shorter. Benintendi went shorter.
Hayward, the batter, he's gone 0 for 2, but with an RBI and a ground out. That was in the 2nd inning when the Cubs got their runs. Sox got a run in the 2nd, another in the 3rd. That's been it. The shortstop Xander Bogaerts with a bobble, and he'll commit an error on this. So Hayward is on to begin the 7th inning.
Yeah, Xander, he let the ball play him that time. Instead of being aggressive and charging the ball, he elected to stay back on it and got the in-between hop. And not happy himself with this effort. You see, that's a ball that he probably could have charged a little bit more than what he did. He waited back on it right there and then came up too soon and right off the fingertips of the glove.
So the Red Sox make their first error. Sending up Javier Baez, the talented second baseman who's doubled in a run and grounded to second. Line shot. Xander will glove this one. He made that catch cleanly. Back into first is the runner.
I think for a second he was thinking about intentionally dropping that and trying to get a double play, but of course that wouldn't play with the umpires. And a sinking line drive this time for Bogaerts. Takes a look at first base, but nothing there.
So one gone. Tommy La Stella, the DH tonight, has been hit by pitch and grounded out. Red Sox have turned a couple of double plays tonight. Jet blue packed to the gills, and many, many Cub fans here tonight. Base hit, knocked into left field. La Stella aboard. Pinch runner Hanneman down to second. So the Cubs have some brewing here. First and second, one away. Back up to the top of the order in Ian Happ. Happ tonight with a single, a steal. He's been called out on strikes, and he swung and missed at strike 3. Bounced up there and knocked down by Sandy Leon. Well, the last game is spring training coming up tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock. We will have it for you on NESN. Red Sox and the Cubs. And Wednesday, no baseball. The Red Sox will be at Tampa Bay getting ready. Double play ball here. Bogaerts fires and got him. Red Sox turn 2 to get out of the inning despite the error and the base hit.
Here's how Old Dominion puts together a winning performance.
Well, tie ball game here to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and a number of changes for the Cubs. Get to those in a second. Red Sox Nation members can earn loyalty points every time they attend a game at Fenway and watch away games on NESN. They can use these points to redeem items like autographs, memorabilia, and much, much more. You can visit RedSoxNation.com to sign up today. Mike Freeman's going to take over at shortstop. So Russell out of the ball game. David Bote taking over at second. Chris Jimenez is the new catcher. And Carl Edwards Jr. is the new pitcher. And it was a very good one for Chicago last year. He made 73 appearances with a 2.98 ERA. Jam shot foul by Brock Holt, who's gone 0 for 2. Edwards with a dominating combination of fastball velocity and cutter movement. And a 2-0. Poke foul. Now Mora Jr. also the new center fielder. If you're scoring at home. Sandy Leon on deck. Brock started the evening hitting .343, no homers, 3 runs batted in. And the read thin right-hander fires.
I'll take it right back out.
6'3", 170 pounds. Soaking wet. Yeah, the 2-2. Got a piece again. Very pesky at bat here by Brock. Two runs, 8 hits, and a couple of errors for Chicago. 2 runs, 5 hits, an error for Boston. And Edwards with another 2-2 to Brock Holt. Would not chase the pitch into the dirt.
Tried the curveball that time, about 80 miles an hour, bouncing it. Holt would not chase, runs the count full.
Sox open up on Thursday at Tampa Bay. 4 games there with the Rays, then 2 in Miami, before coming home for a lengthy homestand, a 3-2. And he walked him. That's a good at bat for Brock Holt.
All right, tried to throw that breaking ball again on the 3-2 count and just missed.
Red Sox will be home from April 5th through the 16th. First homestand of the season. Tampa Bay, the Yankees, and Baltimore on that homestand.
And let's hope for some good weather.
Here, here.
That's a nice long homestand to have on the first one of the season.
Yeah, it's actually going to be 3 off days at the start and through that homestand. The strike on Sandy Leon. Sandy's flied to right twice. The Red Sox go to the West Coast very quickly, which I don't think anyone will mind. The Sox go to Anaheim, Oakland, and Toronto. Little flare over short. Here comes Almora. That'll dunk down for a base hit. Brock Holt up to second. Sandy Leon with a single. 2 men aboard here in the 7th inning. With baseball finally back on Thursday, you're not going to want to wait. You don't want to miss any of the festivities. You can live stream NESN's coverage of the Red Sox season opener on your desktop computer, on your favorite mobile device. Visit NESN.com or download the NESN Go app before opening day.
Opening day, 4 o'clock start in Tampa. St. Pete to kick off the 2018 season for the Red Sox.
Sturgeon batting for the first time since he took over from Mookie Betts in right field. Sturgeon, left-hand hitter, about 6 feet, 180, out of Kentucky. And played 4 baseball seasons at the University of Louisville. Which is actually the proper way to say that.
Louisville?
Louisville.
Louisville.
Louisville. Just like bury it all. Louisville.
Louisville.
Exactly.
Is that it?
Kind of right, yeah. Doesn't sound right, but it is.
It's like a little bit like Baltimore, right? You say Baltimore or something.
Right, you bury it, right? Louisville. Going from Louisville to Baltimore. Took a big rip there. Last year, Sturgeon at Portland hit .264 with 6 home runs. Getting in a game that had more of a major league feel and kind of a regular season feel than anything else you typically get at spring training here tonight with the Cubs in town. Fun atmosphere at the outset. Two teams with sky high expectations. Very, very good ball clubs. And mostly A-listers tonight at the start of this game. .3-1. And he lays off for ball 4, so they're going to be all loaded up with nobody out. Let's toss it down to TC.
Yeah, thanks, OB. Just came from the Red Sox clubhouse where Rafael Devers talked with reporters, and he told us through interpreter Davison Perez of the Red Sox that he kind of threw himself into the catcher, and he thought it was the catcher's shin pad, the shin protector, that he collided with. Said he felt the pain right away, and he felt it on the sides of his knee, so he was a little concerned at first. He said as soon as he got up and walked around, the pain started to ease, and he immediately felt better about that. Now, while it still feels pain, he feels with treatment, he expects to feel better tomorrow, and right now he feels he should be good to go on Thursday, but obviously we'll know a lot more tomorrow when he wakes up and sees how it feels.
TC, thank you so much. Well, here is J.D. Martinez. He stings that one, but gobbled up. Shortstop firing home, got the out there. Brock Coulter raced at the plate. Hard hit by Martinez, but snagged by Freeman.
That's a good heads-up play by Freeman right there, because easily he could have gone for 2 to get 2 outs, but the Red Sox would have had the go-ahead run. So what he does, the ball was hit so hard, he just comes home to get the force play, and they try to go 6-2-3, but they didn't have time to get the man at first base.
The Madera will now come on and run for Martinez. As the bases are reloaded here with 1 away. And Akami, the hitter, hitting in Hanley's spot. Hanley had 2 hits tonight. Red Sox trying to get out in front here against Chicago in the 7th inning. They're all filled up. Well, when you hear those comments by Rafael Devers, I think it's good news, obviously, and good to be 21 years old too after a play like that at the plate. We'll see how he feels tomorrow morning.
The Red Sox will be very anxious to see how he feels tomorrow morning too. Kind of a strange play, very, very strange play. You don't, I mean, you might not see that the rest of the year. Probably won't.
Edwards with a 1-1. He's walked a couple of men in the inning. Sandy Leon representing the go-ahead run 90 feet away. And a 2-1 from the lanky righty. Line into center field, sinking. That's a base hit. 1 run is in. Here's a play at the plate. The tag, and in time to cut him down. Sturgeon out at home, but the Red Sox take the lead 3-2.
And that was a heck of a throw out there by Almora, who just came into the game recently. Charging hard, put a good throw on the ball, but the key here is the Red Sox take the lead with the base hit. But watch this throw here by Almora. He comes in, plays it on one hop, all the way in the air to the catcher, and then just kind of waiting to put the tag on. See the catcher, he cannot block home plate, so he's going to grab that ball and sweep back to make the tag.
And cuts him down at the plate, so Akame will pick up 1 RBI, but that does put the Red Sox in the lead. Joe Madden out there to make a change. And we'll take a break and be back with more in just a moment from JetBlue.
New show. Need a new
Two, and TC has a special guest in Brock Holt.
Yeah, Brock Holt has places to go, mostly the clubhouse, where he's got to wrap up his night. But it's been a strange week or so. You know, everybody talking about you, Devin Marrero, obviously Blake Swihart. Devin Marrero gets traded. You had gone and talked to House Coach. Take us through the last few days.
A little bit in limbo. You know, I think all three of us were kind of wondering what was going on, and you know, something we can't worry about. I think all three of us came in, had a good camp, just kind of a wait and see type thing. So it's one of those things you can't control. All you can do is go out and play, and I think that's what all of us are doing. And you know, we're where we're at right now.
You've done that, hitting .328 here in spring training. You're healthy. Is that the most important thing right now after what you've been through the last couple of years? Yeah, I'm taking that as a win. I keep telling people I feel better than I felt in a long time. So you know, everything else kind of is a win for me, but I'm feeling good. I'm having fun, and I'm glad to be a Boston Red Sox. I know, talking to Alex Cora about that feeling as you get down to the final spots on the team, he says, listen, I lived through that most of my career. Did you form a little bond here with Alex through all of this? Yeah, I mean, I think I formed a bond with him early on. You know, I think all of us did. We were excited when he got the job, and we've had a good camp, and you know, I think most of that has to do with him and some of the new staff that we have. So, you know, I think everyone in that clubhouse is excited that he's here. You feel good about this team? I feel great about this team. Yeah. You ready to go Thursday? Yeah. I mean, if not, I mean, we better get ready. You get no choice. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. They don't ask you. Thanks, Brock. Appreciate it. Good luck when it all begins. All right. Thank you. All right, Brock Holt with me here in the dugout, OB.
Brock, TC, thank you very much. Great to see him smiling. He remains a very popular player for the Red Sox. He's had an excellent spring, and as he pointed out, it's all about good health. After what he's been through with the vertigo and the concussions, everything else, he's all clear of that. Sox with a 3-2 lead. Runners at first and second. And punch the other way for a base hit. Madera rounding. The throw will come into third as the run comes in. The run does score out at third, but the Red Sox have now taken a 4-2 lead here at JetBlue.
Bruins playoff hockey.
Sox have jumped in the lead here 4-2 on the Cubs as we go to the top half of the 8th inning. Enjoy the Fenway experience with your group. Red Sox group outings are the perfect way to entertain your clients, boost employee morale, school outings, team outings, and a lot more. Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. Now, Red Sox expecting a lot out of Carson Smith, the right-hander, who make an appearance here against Chicago. And we could see him a lot in the 8th inning. John Nunez will take over behind the plate, so the day is done for Sandy Leon. Sandy went 1 for 3 and scored a run. Carson limited duty last year, coming all the way back from Tommy John at last, and now ready for a full healthy season. DeJesus Jr., the new first baseman. Looks like Nick Lovello at second. And knocked foul back out of play. And the 0-2. Think about how good Carson Smith was when he last did have a full healthy season. Go back to his success with the Seattle Mariners in 2015, 70 appearances and a lot of stuff like that. 2.31 ERA. He gets court for out number 1.
That's what makes him so nasty. I mean, he's got that very strange delivery to home plate, and that fastball runs all over the place, and then he'll drop the slider on you. Drops a slider right here. Inside corner. He's supposed to be away, but he picked up the inside corner and completely fooled Court, the hitter. I remember when he was pitching with Seattle, he used to come in the ball game and I'd go, oof, you know, this guy is nasty. And that's what the Red Sox are hoping for this season, a complete season.
Rizzo's gone all the way, 1 for 3 with a base hit tonight. Very nice spring, 340 with 3 home runs. So you come into spring and you're looking to work on things. And in the early days, pitchers and hitters are all working on things. This late in spring training, what are you working on?
Basically just trying to get your timing down for the regular season. I mean, you've pretty much done everything right now. You have done everything right now that as a ball club you have to do. You know, all the fundamental work that they do in the morning, especially when the team's at home. You've gone over all your cutoffs, your relays, your rundowns, how to do all that stuff.
Bounding ball up the middle and a little bit of a slip there. So that'll be a base hit for Rizzo. That'll be his second hit tonight. Xander slow to rise here.
Almost looked like Bogarts caught a spike when he was trying to make a play on that. On the grass, the outfield grass. And there's Rizzo making contact up the middle. The Red Sox in a shift, and you see Bogarts go after this to the backhand. Yeah, right there, the slip with the left foot. Lucky he didn't sprain his ankle.
Yeah, did grimace a little bit there, but appears to be all right.
You know, going back to the spring training stuff, I mean, you know, we kid about how long spring training is, but the fact is it does take some time to get all that stuff down. It's just repetition over and over and over again. And right now, I mean, there's not a player in camp in either one of these teams that's not saying, I'm ready to get in the season. Unless, of course, you're dealing with some type of an injury or something like that.
Yeah, that's the exception. I know that you hear it, maybe not for the record, but players will tell you I'm absolutely ready. In fact, I was ready a week ago. I was
Absolutely.
ready 5 days ago.
No question about it.
And, you know, ball clubs want to see what they have. They want to see what they're made of and how good they are. You know, you notice it with this Red Sox team. They're dying to see against major league competition in regular season games. They are dying to see how good they are.
Now, Cora was talking before the game today, and you know, he was very pleased. He was getting a lot of questions about, you know, his first game managing and all that stuff. And he said, well, I've been managing all of spring training, and I feel like we had a very good spring training down here. We got everything covered that we wanted to do. We did it over and over again. And, you know, of course, he's anxious to get the season started, too, make his major league debut as a manager. He was talking today about having Pedroia, you know, travel with the ball club. And for a couple of reasons. He says, I want him there the first day that I manage. They're so close, both of them, Dustin Pedroia and Cora. And he says, yeah, I want him there. I want him, you know, to be part of that.
Bogaerts starting a double play, and the Red Sox turn it 6-4-3 to retire the side. We go to the last half of the 8th inning. Red Sox leading the Cubs by 2.
Live spring training game action is on NESN.
Dominion.
Well, Rick Porcello very good tonight for the Red Sox in this game against the Cubs. Excellent changeup. He had that changeup working for him almost all night long. The last 2 strikeouts there you see with changeups.
Rick went 5 innings in his last tune-up before the real thing. He'll start game 3 against Tampa Bay. 5 innings, 2 runs. Red Sox lead 4-2 in the 8th. Xander Bogaerts batting for the 4th time. Strokes that one into right field for out number 1. Red Sox and the Cubs tomorrow afternoon here on NESN at 1 o'clock. Red Sox spring training games on NESN, brought to you in part by Ace Ticket, where Red Sox fans go for tickets to all their favorite events, sports, concerts, theater, and more. Ace with the best selection at the lowest prices. Call 1-800-MY-SEATS right now. And Tate Matheny One of the two managers' sons in the ball game. His dad, the skipper of the St. Louis Cardinals. Base is empty, 1 down in the 8th inning. Red Sox scored twice in the bottom of the 7th to take their first lead tonight. Now most of the regulars have left the game. To the shortstop, and Freeman will sling on to get him. 2 down. The Bruins have clinched a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but are still looking to take the top spot in the Eastern Conference. They're in Winnipeg. Take on the Jets tomorrow night. Coverage beginning at 7 right here on NESN. Well, here's Blake Swihart. Came on when Devers had to exit. And 2 of the last 3 spring training games, a Red Sox player has been injured to the point where it was scary enough for a little while before you got the update on both Chris Sale the other day. Sale will be fine. He'll be ready to go from all accounts on opening day. And for Alex Corey, watched his third baseman involved in a home plate collision, 21-year-old Rafael Devers. Rafael is talking about how he feels tomorrow, but he's also speaking very positively about being ready for opening day. We'll see what the trainers have to say after tomorrow, after they see him tomorrow, but did walk away under his own power. Still, the last thing in the world you want to see in spring training, at the end of spring training, is guys getting hurt.
That's what every manager worries about, and every player kind of worries. Well, not the players, not as much, because they're focusing on what they're doing, but certainly the coaching staff, the manager, they don't want to see any of that happen the last few days of spring training.
1-2. Tried to hold up a swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. That'll do it for the Red Sox. We go to the 9th. Sox up 4-2.
Bring champ.
Red Sox baseball here on NESN. Red Sox taking on the Chicago Cubs, and brought to you by Ace Ticket and by Old Dominion Freight Line. Sox on top 4-2, even though they've been out hit 9-8 by the Cubs. Almora Jr. will lead things off here. Ryan Brazier into the ball game and pops him up for out number 1. Red Sox have a new first baseman in Jansen Whitty. The Brazier on to finish it up. It's gotten pretty blustery here, particularly so in the 9th inning.
And again, that wind at this stage blowing straight in from center field.
Jimenez, the batter, hitting for the first time here tonight. And he knocks a foul. Can join us tomorrow for the final spring training game. Red Sox and the Cubs at 1:05 here on NESN. Hector Velasquez will start for the Sox against left-hander Jose Quintana. Velasquez has made the ball club. A base hit into right center field, so Jimenez is aboard with a 1-out single. You can register for the 5th annual Watertown Police Finish Strong 5K road race and walk on Sunday, April 29th. Sign up at NESN.com/finishstrong. Hanneman hitting for the first time with a runner at first and 1 down. Red Sox have turned 3 double plays tonight.
Brazier's throwing the ball hard. 95 on the last few fastballs that he's featured.
Both the Sox and the Cubs have had good spring training records. Although a club has had a good spring training record and not followed that up in the regular season, that certainly isn't expected to be true of these two teams. Both heavily favored to advance to postseason play. Red Sox win tonight would be their 21st. The Cubs have won 19. They're 19-12. It will come to an end tomorrow. That'll be the finish of spring training 2018, and then the Red Sox will head to Tampa Bay, and these Cubs will head to Miami to begin the season on Thursday. Can't wait to get it going, Jerry.
I'm very anxious. I can't wait for opening day and the regular season to get going. Expectations are high.
Well, that one ate him up. Pretty tough pitch. He is throwing hard, and that is strike 3 to Hanneman. So 2 down. Tonight's Red Sox spring training game on NESN brought to you in part by Ace Ticket, where Red Sox fans go for tickets to all their favorite events. The best selection at the lowest prices. Visit aceticket.com right now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS.
After throwing a bunch of fastballs at 95, Brazier comes with that slider to pick up the strikeout. Second out of the inning.
Attendance tonight 9,864 at JetBlue, and pop foul out of play. So another sellout. Once again, every game will sell out here at spring training at JetBlue Park. And Brazier with the 0-1. Cubs have a very good ball club as well. 92-70 last year. Still have John Lester as their #1 guy in the rotation, along with Yu Darvish this year. They've got Quintana for a full season. We'll see him tomorrow, the left-hander. And their stars are back, along with Joe Madden, one of the more innovative managers in the game. Red Sox looking to put them away here tonight in spring training baseball. And will right there on strike 3, and that's the ball game. Red Sox win it. They beat the Cubs here 4-2 with 1 more to play tomorrow afternoon on NESN. For my partner Jerry Remy and for Tom Caron, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. See you again tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock as the Red Sox win 4-2 over the Chicago Cubs.
Today we run to raise awareness